Hello and welcome to the IELTS Immerse Speaking course. This is lesson number 2, Fluency and Coherence. This is lesson number 2 out of the 10 full comprehensive lessons. Let's begin. By the end of this lesson, you will grasp fluency and coherence in IELTS Speaking. So that fluency and coherence, you'll know all about what it is, what the difference is, and you'll be able to apply it to the way that you speak during your IELTS speaking exam. I like to begin all of our lessons with a warm-up task, just to see how much you know about today's lesson before we even started it. So how do we improve fluency and coherency? What is the difference between the two? What tips do you have to be more coherent and fluent in the way that you speak? Please read questions 1 to 4 and answer each question any way that you would like to. That could be writing down on your notebook, or it could be recording yourself speak. Remember, I always want you to be as interactive as possible throughout this course. Welcome back to the video. Here are the key definitions of fluency and coherency. Have a look right down there. Fluency is about how you can speak smoothly, accurately, without that hesitation in your speech. Coherency is more about the logic. How is it organized? Is it easy to follow your communication between your ideas and the information that you're trying to share with others? So how to enhance fluency? Well, this is something that you cannot do overnight. You have to practice day after day after day. And that fourth point there, practice, 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 is the best tip that I can give you. But of course, there are other things you can do to help you. Make sure you are thinking in English as much as possible in your day-to-day life. Make sure you're expanding that vocabulary, because this would help you avoid that hesitation. Manage the pace of how you speak. Don't speak too quickly, and also try not to speak too slowly. And record and review. There's no harming recording what you're saying and listening to yourself and seeing how you are doing. You are the best judge of yourself as well. And how to enhance coherency. Now this is about organizing your thoughts, using those transition words so you can go from point to point, sentence to sentence, staying on topic. Don't start a sentence and then go off to another topic mid-sentence. Rephrase, paraphrase. You can do this with questions you're being asked. And speak clearly, that pronunciation, so we can understand what you are saying. So time for the bad news. Things that take time, patience and hard work. Things you cannot do overnight. And that is to improve fluency just like that. You can't do it, but practice, practice, practice. You will see progression each and every day, I assure you. So thinking English naturally is going to help you, and it will help you speak without those hesitations, and you can respond to questions without even having to think and translate into your own mind. And if you learn vocabulary, that will help you a lot. We cannot learn 100 words every day, as much as we want to, as much as we try to. At best, we could probably learn 10 to 15 a day. So reaching 1,000 new words can take 100 days. You can try it quicker, but it's not easy. So please be patient with this. And for the good news, there are things we can fix quicker. And that's what we're going to be going through in today's lesson. We're going to learn transition words. I'm going to show you how to paraphrase and rephrase. I'm going to help you structure your answer and stay on topic. And finally, I'm going to help you manage your pace and sound confident when you speak. Time to get out your notepad, time to write down notes, because everything that I'm telling you will be crucial in helping you develop that coherency I was referring to. Let's begin with transition words, formal transition words. We'll come to informal later. So what are transition words? They are words that would help you link your points, link your sentences in a coherent way. For example, addition transition words would include furthermore, moreover, additionally, in addition, besides. Contrast transition words, however, nevertheless, on the other hand, in contrast, although. Cause and effect transition words, therefore, consequently, as a result, thus, because. Time transition words, meanwhile, simultaneously, previously, subsequently, eventually. And emphasis transition words, indeed, certainly, undoubtedly, specifically, notably. So what do we mean by addition? Very similar to the word and. Okay, you make one point. Furthermore, you make another point. Contrast, you make one point, and then you make a contrasting point, an opposing point. So, I like tea, however, I don't drink it every single day. Cause and effect transition words, therefore. Okay, so this is the most common word that you'll know is because. So this point happened because this happened, or therefore this will happen. Time transition words. These are words where we talk about when one thing is happening, maybe something else is happening, or because of the first point, this is also happening at the same time, or it will eventually happen. And emphasis transition words, just to emphasize your point that you're making. I could say, I think it will rain tomorrow. But I could say, certainly, I think it will rain tomorrow. Moving on, these are the informal words. You may be asking me, can I use informal words in the speaking exam? Of course you can. There is nothing stopping you. In fact, it is encouraged for you to speak informally at times throughout your exam. Don't make the mistake where you think you can write these in your writing part. That's what we don't want. However, in your speaking exam, there is no problem. You can add these words into your answer. Addition transition words, plus, also, besides, on top of that, anyway. Contrast transition words, but, yet, then again. On the flip side. Cause and effect transition words, so, cause, that's why. Time transition words, while this was going on, at the same time, before that, afterward, eventually. Emphasis transition words, seriously, definitely, for sure, basically, clearly. Let's have a look at a few example sentences. Let's read the first formal sentence. I love reading books because they transport me to different worlds, and moreover, they improve my vocabulary and comprehension skills. Informal sentence. I love reading books because they transport me to different worlds, and on top of that, they improve my vocabulary and comprehension skills. Let's have a look at another formal and informal example. I enjoy working in a busy office environment. On the other hand, my colleague prefers a quieter workspace. I enjoy working in a busy office environment. Then again, my colleague prefers a quieter workspace. Now, you have just written down those transition words, formal and informal. Maybe most of them you already know, but you didn't have the confidence to use just yet. So now, this is time for practice. There are 5 sentences on your screen. Use those transition words and put them into those 5 sentences. Once you have finished, please come back to the video. Welcome back to the video. How did you do with task number 2? Let's have a look at some examples. Number 1, for example, I love hiking, blank. My best friend prefers swimming. What type of point are we using? If you say we're using some sort of contrasting point, then I would agree with you. I love this, however, my friend prefers this. So however, therefore, on the other hand, if you used any of these, good job. Let's try another example. Number 2, the weather was sunny. Blank, we decided to have a picnic. So, you probably think the first point is made and then the next one is a consequence of that first point. So what do we need? What type of word do we need? Now if you put something like so or therefore, you are correct. The weather was sunny, so we decided to have a picnic. The weather was sunny, therefore we decided to have a picnic. If you want some other answers, I will send you the answer sheet. Let's move on with the rest of today's lesson. So we're going to look at rephrase, paraphrase. So what does this mean? Well, first of all, you need to understand the original. So you have to understand what you are rephrasing and paraphrasing, because what you're getting is a text, and in IELTS case, probably a question, and you're rewording that question. So you're rephrasing it, you're using different words, but you're essentially saying the same thing. So also, you need to use synonyms. Replace words or phrases in the question or the sentence you want to rephrase with other words which mean the same but are different. Change the sentence structure. So if you have one grammatical form in this sentence or question, you need to change the ordering of the words when you paraphrase it. It shouldn't be the same word for word, because that is not paraphrasing. Most importantly, you have to maintain clarity. Keep it clear. Make sure the new version is accurately conveyed to the listener. Here are some quick tips. We don't need to answer every question by paraphrasing it. Please do not answer every question by repeating the question, in a paraphrase. We don't want this. But do show some examples throughout the test, particularly maybe in part 3, this where it's a lot more important. Part 1, part 2, it's not as necessary. We don't need to find synonyms of every single word in the sentence. So just a synonym in your paraphrasing would be absolutely fine. So a synonym in every answer that you do would be fine. You don't need to find multiple. Let's have a look at some example paraphrasing. This is an example of a part 3 question. Do you think people today are more interested in their careers than in their personal lives? Example of paraphrasing. Well, in today's society, it seems that many individuals prioritize their professional pursuits over their personal lives. As you see, I have paraphrased the question. I've used some synonyms. For example, people of today, I could say today's society. Instead of saying people, I've also used the word individuals. And instead of saying more interested, I have said prioritize. So here is a possible part 3 question. Do you believe that regular exercise is essential for maintaining good health? Look at the 4 questions. What is this question asking you about? List 3 to 5 synonyms of some of the words in the sentence. You don't have to use that many, but it's better the more that you know. If you use 1, 2 or 3 synonyms, that's absolutely fine. If you can list more, no problem, that's okay. How would you structure the sentence and make sure it keeps its meaning? And using your answers to the previous 3 questions, write down or say your opening sentence to answer this question. So good luck with your paraphrasing. Once you have finished, please return to the video. How did you do with the paraphrasing? Now, if you want my feedback, of course, during the live lessons, you will be given feedback and we will share examples on the screen as a class. If you're watching this individually, no problem. You can always get in contact with me. The email address is at the end of the slides, and that way I can respond to you, give you some feedback, and let you know more about how you can improve if that is needed. Thank you. Let's talk about structure and staying on topic. I have given so many students the IELTS test preparation before, and a lot of the times they can get confused with what they want to answer in the question. They start a sentence, and by the end of the sentence, they have made a different point. Stay on topic, stay on the task. This is a lot more clearer and coherent for the examiner or the listener. So, we've talked about introducing and paraphrasing before. That could be the way you start your answer. Okay, so begin your response by addressing the topic or question, answering it by saying yes or no or maybe or however you would like to answer it, and maybe paraphrase that question, particularly in part 3. Now, once you've done this part, it's then important to provide detail and examples. So elaborate on the topic, explain, provide details, give examples of why you think yes or why you think no or why you think you're not sure. This adds depth to your response. It shows good language skills. This is crucial, particularly in part 3 again. Explain and expand. So you've made your introduction. Perhaps you've paraphrased the question. You've given an example to say why you believe that is the answer to your question. Now, explain more. Add another point. Use those transition words we talked about earlier. In addition, furthermore. And then you can go and progress to the next point that you want to make. It could be a contrasting point. It could be added to emphasize your point. It could just be an additional point. If you have time at the end of your answer, then native speakers and obviously high-level advanced English speakers can make sure there's some sort of conclusion to their answer. So summarizing your main points, restating your opinion. If it is an opinion-based question, a lot of them will be in part 3. It's a good way to finish off your answer. We'll come back to this in a moment. Here is an example structure. Let's look at the example from the previous task. Do you believe that regular exercise is essential for maintaining good health? Now, they're in 4 steps here. Introduce, paraphrase. So I will read the first part. Yes, I firmly believe that regular exercise is essential for maintaining good health. I've answered the question, I've addressed the question, and I've set up my answer nicely. I could improve it. I could add more synonyms. I could have a synonym for regular. I could have a synonym for maintaining or good health or essential. Instead of saying that regular exercise is essential for maintaining good health, I could say that regular exercise is crucial for maintaining good health. But that's the first part of your answer. Then the next part, which is very important, providing details and evidence. Exercise contributes to physical fitness, strengthens the immune system, and helps manage weight. It's a good point why I think it is good for our health, because it contributes to physical fitness, strengthens the immune system. They are good points, examples, evidence. The next part, explain and expand. Okay. Furthermore, it reduces the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and improves mental well-being. I've given a transition word there. Furthermore, I'm adding to the point that I previously made. And then I conclude, all in all, incorporating regular exercise into one's routine is a fundamental aspect of promoting and sustaining good health. Nice little conclusion there. Use the transition word all in all, which is informal, by the way. So that's an example of a structure. Let's go to task 4. If you haven't had a break yet, please do take a break. But if you haven't, maybe you can have a break after this task. This is a task to let you know, let you practice how to stay on topic. So let's focus on a debate, that is reading a book or watching a television. What do you think is better if you want to improve your English? So that is the question. And then question number 2 would ask you to think of advantages and disadvantages. Provide details and examples to those. Elaborate on why you think one is more appealing or suitable. Expand on your points you mentioned before in section number 2. And then finally, using all your answers to questions 1, 2 and 3, write down or say the answer which is better. Please use those 4 steps. Write down, introduce, paraphrase, details and evidence, expand, explain and conclude. Throughout this course, I will give you perhaps 5 minutes to 10 minutes on every single task, so please do use that time wisely, and once you have finished, please return back to the video. So how did you do? In your opinion, what is better? Reading books, watching movies to enhance your English? So hopefully you've gone through a bit of a procedure there. A structure can now be visible. You've probably given your answer, you've given points to explain, you've expanded on those points, you've given evidence and details, and then you've done a nice little conclusion at the end. If you've managed to do that, well done. That will help you a lot, particularly with part 3. Just remember, in the real exam, you have to do that 4, 5, 6 times in a row for part 3. But if you can do that and you become natural at doing it, it's going to help you so much in your exam. Now let's move on to managing the pace and sounding confident. Okay, so people can speak too quickly, people can speak too slowly, and there can be hesitation from time to time. That's to be expected. But this isn't really about hesitation, this is just about maintaining the right pace and also sounding confident in the way that you speak. So there are 3 key tips that I'm going to give you, and these 3 key tips will change the way you think about English or even speaking in general forever, I promise you. So first one is to use controlled pauses, strategically to gather your thoughts and emphasize those key points. Pausing can make you sound so confident. Who would have known that not speaking would make you speak confidently? The second tip is to work on intonation. What is intonation? Well, let me give you an example. This is me with a rising intonation, and this is me with a falling intonation. If you can do this to your speech, this would definitely make you sound more confident too. And finally, use sentence stress effectively. There will be words in your sentence that need to be stressed. So you say those words louder and clearer than other words in the sentence. This does have a huge impact on the listener. As you listen to me now, you will notice I am stressing a lot of the words. Let's have a look at an example sentence. This is a part 1 question. What is your favorite hobby or pastime? And why do you enjoy it? Now I'm going to answer this question thinking about the intonation, the stress, and pausing. Let's see if you can notice it. My favorite hobby is playing the guitar. I find it incredibly enjoyable because it allows me to express myself creatively through music. When I strum the strings and create melodies, it's like entering a whole new world where I can unwind and let my emotions flow. Plus, playing the guitar has connected me with other musicians, and we often jam together, which adds a social element to this hobby, making it even more fulfilling. Pausing, intonation, sentence stress, they are so important. So let's do this task. Here is a possible answer. You can see it on your screen now. Number 1. I won't read it for you, but here it is. So in your opinion, discuss or write down where you would put pauses in this answer. Highlight the words that need to be stressed. Finally, how should the intonation be at the end of the sentence? And why do you think that? Discuss. Okay, so think of those 3 things. When does there need to be pauses? When does there need to be intonation? And when does there need to be some sentence stress? Once you have finished these 3 questions, come back to the video. Welcome back. So how did you do with this exercise? Now, there's no right or wrong answer, but as long as you've shown that there is some pausing within your answer and some intonation maybe at the end, and of course you stress those key words, then you've learned something new. And I want you to focus on how you speak before today and after today. How can you change that so you make sure you add the sentence stress to your sentences as well as the pausing and the intonation? Your answer may sound something like this. I visited the Grand Canyon and its vastness left me awestruck. The breathtaking natural beauty and a sense of insignificance in the face of nature's grandeur made it unforgettable. Maybe it was something like this. Now the final task today, let's bring it all together. You've learned a lot, so let's see if we can apply it to the final section. Look at this part 3 question. As you can see, it is here. And now look at questions 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Do take your time with this. Maybe you'll take about 10 minutes to do this final task. But try to apply everything that you learned today. What structure will you use? What types of transitioned words? How would you confidently speak your answer? Write it down, discuss it, record it, however you like to do it, as long as you do it, because interaction within this course is the most important for you to improve your English. Once you have finished this task, come back to the video. Good luck. How did you do? I bet you are impressed with how far you've come in this lesson alone. The information that you've been given regarding the transition words, how to sound confident, how to structure, it makes it a little bit easier. But you're probably thinking now, yes, it was helpful, but it's still too difficult to do this naturally again and again and again. And that's exactly what I said earlier. Practice will make perfect, but it won't happen overnight. You will need to do this day in, day out, and take your time doing this. But as long as you learn these things, it will make your progress even quicker. So keep on working at it. Well done today. As always, I will provide you tips for self-study. So between now and the next lesson, look at transition words. There are so many conjunctions, transition words, filler words, formal and informal, that will help you with your structure of your answer. It will help you sound more coherent and fluent. There's so many words out there that will help you link your sentences. This is absolutely crucial. So between now and the next lesson, try to learn even more transition words. As always, you can go check out other online content, review the notes that you made today, and put it into practice. Start speaking, record yourself, and that's all. Thank you for your time today. Well done in lesson number 2. Hopefully today has made you sound more fluent or more coherent, and that's what we want. I will see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.